Good morning, YouTube. Good to see you guys. Hope you guys are having an awesome day. Today is day number 2 of our Euro trip, and behind me are the walls to the Vatican, and today we're gonna try and go inside the Vatican and explore, maybe meet the Pope. Who knows if that'll actually happen. But little known facts about the Vatican is that the Vatican is the smallest country recognized by the United Nations. I think about 1,000 people live in the inside, mostly people obviously employed by the church. And even though it's one of the smallest, it is still one of the most wealthy countries in the world. So I think it's gonna be a lot of fun. Hopefully I get to do some videos inside. There are rumors that certain parts of the Vatican I'm not allowed to video, but I'm gonna try and do my very best for you guys. So hopefully you guys enjoyed today's video. You can tell that the line out here is huge. Thankfully though, we're in this giant group right here, so we kind of get the expedited line, and I think that's the entrance to the Vatican right there. So I got that little detail about the entrance wrong. I think the entrance just made it through security. In order to get into the Vatican, you have to do like a baggage check and everything else like that and make sure, I guess, you're safe. We are walking up like the world's longest ramp, and we're going into the Vatican Museum. They gave us these nice little headsets. I think they're giving us like a audio tour. So right now we are inside the Vatican Museum, which has a ton of sculptures from like the 3rd century AD in the Roman period, basically. Pretty intricate stuff. So right now I am in this hallway filled with tapestries, and something cool about the ceiling is instead of it being paintings on the ceiling are actual like sculptures, so you can see there's texture to the artwork that's on the ceiling right now. So obviously there's a lot of art here in the Vatican, which is really interesting. You think about it, the people back in those days, the vast majority of people did not have the ability to, number 1, read, or number 2, have the ability to have a Bible for themselves. So the only way that they were able to learn about the stories of the gospel and hear the stories of Jesus was actually through artwork, so they'd be able to see it and then they'd tell stories about the artwork. So in a certain sense, these tapestries like this were the Bibles of the people in those day and age, the only way that they could actually hear the story of the gospel. So this tapestry is a picture of Jesus coming out of the empty tomb. You got the Roman soldiers running away. So this entire hallway specifically took 3 years to get done. It's pretty fantastic. So we are walking up a couple flights of stairs, and I think we're gonna go into the Sistine Chapel. I'm gonna try and get some video footage, but I've heard that it's not allowed to video inside there, so we'll try. Okay, right now we are in the Sistine Chapel. There's a bunch of guards everywhere, so I'm gonna try and get you guys some footage right now. Alright, so we just left the Sistine Chapel. A little fun fact about the Sistine Chapel, it was obviously done by Michelangelo, but when Michelangelo was first asked to do the Sistine Chapel, he didn't want to do it. He actually didn't think that he could do it. He was a sculptor by trade, not a painter or anything else like that, so he actually refused to do it, and many years later I think it was that the Pope actually ordered him to do it, so he actually finally decided that, you know, it's probably a good thing to do, and I'm gonna actually end up doing it. But one thing I take from that is, like, this is such one of, if not like, I think it is like maybe the iconic type of religious art, and it comes from someone who isn't really wanting to do it. And how many times in life does God call us to do something and we tell God no? And really what happens, what opportunities do we miss out when we tell God no? I mean, if you think about it, if Michelangelo didn't say yes, perhaps he actually wouldn't be as well known or famous or accomplished as he is now. And so maybe there's something in your life that God is calling you to do and you're scared to do it, you don't want to do it, you don't feel like you're equipped to do it, but God has incredible plans for you. So I guess one of the obvious take-homes is whatever God's calling you to do, get the courage to do it, because you never know where God's going to lead you and what amazing things He's going to do through you in the process. So we are on the way to St. Peter's Basilica, which is another amazingly beautiful thing. And when you're walking around here, you can't help but notice how awesome some of these structures are. And I remember thinking to myself when I was studying world history in high school, like, why is it that only the Catholics seem to have these amazing buildings and a lot of Protestants tend not to have it, or at least, especially in America, there aren't these types of buildings. And I think one of the major emphasis that they put in their theology was that you could find God anywhere. Now, of course, Catholics do believe this, but this was less emphasized in the past. In the ancient Catholic Church, the idea was that you go to church to experience God, and that's where God lives, that's where God is. And the Protestants made a huge shift in theology, saying that, you know what, that is true, God is there, but it's also true that you can find God anywhere. And so the building is less important, it's less necessary to have such a huge structure to honor God, because you can find God anywhere. And that's why a lot of the more modern day Protestant churches are a lot less ornate, a lot like more plain than some of the structures that we're seeing here today. All right, so this is St. Peter's Basilica. The ceilings are super tall, and this is definitely, I think, in my opinion, out of all the buildings, out of all the rooms that we've seen so far here at the Vatican, this is the one that's the most impressive, for sure. So one interesting tidbit about the Basilica is that this is where many of the popes, when they pass away, this is where they're born, and there's like little altars erected for different popes in the past. Right behind me is the tomb of St. Peter. This is where the disciple Peter is believed to be buried, it is underground over there. You can see there's this giant altar right here, and then you can go down these stairs, and then I think that's the tomb down there is the tomb of St. Peter. So here in the center is where Peter is buried, but this building is built in the shape of a cross. So you can see right here, this is the center. There's a hallway that's here that's rather short, a hallway here, and also on the other side, but then this hallway is like twice the length, so the entire church is in the actual shape of a cross. There's like this giant line right now to go and touch the foot of some statue. Not sure why, but let's do it. Okay, so I do have some bad news. The first bit of bad news is that this is the third time I've recorded this clip, because the first time it was zoomed all the way over here, and the second time I forgot to turn the mic on. But the bad news is that I unfortunately later today looked down at my hand and noticed my wedding ring was gone. I lost it, and I have no clue where it was. I was in an Uber in Rome today, which was the first time I've ever done that. Even did a little cafe in Rome with a couple of friends, and I actually didn't do a vegan meal today, so I had like an authentic Italian pizza / panini thing. It was really interesting, really good too. But I don't know where the ring went. But this is the good news, is that it was that cheap little red plastic ring that cost me $20. A lot of you guys ask me, why do you wear that? And this is one of the perks of it. You can lose it in Rome and you're gonna be okay. Yeah, I had a lot of fun today, walking around, exploring the Vatican, which was absolutely mind-blowingly beautiful. And one takeaway from that is just how much I want to appreciate those of you guys who are talented artists and, I don't know, sculptors or whatever the case is. I think it's so cool when people use their talents to glorify God. It's just amazing what people can do when they use the gifts that God has given them for His glory. And specifically, I am so grateful to the Catholic Church for like preserving all these things and putting it all in one location, and we get to admire all these things, because it's just amazing what God will do through you if you just simply give Him the opportunity to do so. So right now I am eating a little bit of dinner, getting some pasta, and I am also hanging out with my friend here. This is Rolando from Florida. He runs like a health ministry, is that right?
Yeah, chooselifeabundant.com.
There you go. He actually also has a YouTube channel, so maybe you can check him out as well. I actually don't know what it is. He's telling me that he's starting a YouTube channel. But I was telling him, you know, I need to get some sleep. I've had 12 hours of sleep in the last 4 days. So coffee has been my savior for the last couple of days. but this is why I'm not gonna upload a video every single day. I will be recording a video from every day, so definitely subscribe to get the news videos when they come out, but you will have to unfortunately wait till every Monday and Thursday in order to be able to view them. So do me a favor, if you enjoyed this video, give it a like, go ahead and subscribe to this channel, and share this video with a friend if you found it valuable. That's it for today, and as I like to say, until next time, I'm that Christian vlogger, and I want to encourage you to experience faith in the first person. God bless.